Hey there, today I'm building some custom watercolor palettes and I'm trying out watercolors by Arteza. Let's go. So Arteza sent me those watercolors as well as some paper and some watercolor brushes. And well, those brushes seem very interesting, but I didn't try those yet. I just tried the watercolors as well as the paper. And they asked me whether I wanted to get some products, and they let me pick the products that I wanted. And I said that I wanted the watercolors because that's something that I actually know a little bit about, because I already tested the gouache and I also got some acrylics here. But I can't say anything about acrylics really compared to other brands because I don't know anything about acrylics, to be honest. And I know very little about gouache compared to other brands. So I decided to also try the watercolors because I was really curious to find out whether those are better or worse compared to other brands in the same price range. And I'd mostly compared those to the Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolors because they're in a similar price range, and to be honest, they're in a similar quality range as well. I think that they're a little bit cheaper compared to Winsor & Newton, also considering that Arteza has a lot of coupons going on, so very often they have sales and things like that where you only pay half the price. I don't know. I'm gonna put a link down in the description and you can check whether there's something going on, a coupon, whatever, at the moment where you're looking at it, so you can compare the prices with Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolors. And I'd say they're pretty similar when it comes to the quality. They're not the same though. I think that those are a bit more creamy. They're extremely opaque, as you can see on the swatches. They covered those black lines a lot. You can see it here. They are pretty opaque. So if that's something you're looking for, rather buy the Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolors. They're a little bit less opaque, or something high-end. So I wanted to build my own custom watercolor palette, and I decided to take apart all the other palettes that I had going on. And I also wanted to take apart this palette because it really bothered me that it was not a rainbow order. And so I did some palettes with all the colors that I had left over from building my palette with my favorite colors. So I basically put all my favorite colors into the bigger palette, and here are the colors that were left over. I have this earthy kind of tone palette, which I really like. And then I have this one with all the basic colors that you would need, and this special one. And you can see here that the paper is really bad. So the watercolor paper by Arteza, I have to admit, I hate it. I really dislike this paper, and I really want to be honest with you. They sent me the product, okay. Thank you so much for sending me this product, but I really hate your paper. I'm sorry to say that, because the reason why I hate it is because you can see those kind of fringes on the borders. When you use a little bit too much paint, it kind of looks strange. Here I used paper by Hanemühle, and that's why it looks great. Those colors by Arteza perform very well on Hanemühle paper. Here you can see as well, it's a Hanemühle paper, and they perform terrible on the Arteza paper, and I just hate it. I hate layering with it. I hate using too much water with it. It's not even good for sketches, to be honest, and I have a lot of this paper now. I don't know what to do with it. Maybe I'm gonna donate it, or maybe I'm gonna use it for sketching purposes or crafting. I don't know. I haven't looked up the price for the paper. I guess it's probably super cheap, and therefore it's okay that it's not so good of a quality, but to be honest, I would rather buy high quality paper and lower quality watercolors, because the paper is more important than the watercolors. So if you're gonna invest in something, invest in watercolor paper. Buy some, I don't know, Arches seems to be good. Hanemühle, I've tried it and I love it. The cotton watercolor paper is pretty good. And you can definitely get those Arteza watercolors, because those are, I don't know, I have nothing against them. They're probably not light fast because they're just not a high-end product. Something that I have to say about them is that they don't have any names written on the half pans. So I took everything apart and there's no way for me to really know what kind of color that I'm holding in my hand now, because I removed it from its original place. So that's a small little detail, but I'd really recommend Arteza to put some labels on there so you can later still tell what kind of color this is. So here I tried to find out whether I could mix them, because with cheaper watercolors it's always often the case that they're terrible at mixing, and I mixed some red with blue, which is always the color that turns out super muddy when you try to mix purple, and it turned out okay. It's not the most vibrant thing ever, but it turned out okay. And if you buy the 36 color palette, you have a lot of colors already, so you're not going to mix a hell of a lot, so you're probably fine. So I'd recommend the watercolors. I would really not recommend the paper, and yeah, that's basically it. And I built a custom palette with all kinds of watercolors. I have some Prima watercolor confections, the Pastel Dreams set in there, some Winsor & Newton Cotman colors, some Daniel Smith paints, as well as some Arteza paints. And I think I have one pan from Lucas. So this is it. I really hope that you liked this video, and if you did so, please give it a thumbs up, and until next time, goodbye!